you might want to put the spoon down. That comfort soup on your shelf? Most bowls now pack more salt than you should eat in an entire day, yet the label still looks friendly and familiar. That's the problem. In the next minutes, we'll show how 4 pantry staples, canned soup, frozen meals, sweet cereals, and bottled dressings, shifted recipes to chase shelf life and taste, not your heart health. You'll see the quiet tricks that load sodium and sugar while the branding stays nostalgic, and what simple swaps actually cut risk and cost. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great! Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. What if the 4 fastest healthy shortcuts in your kitchen are wired to keep you hungry, thirsty, and inflamed? You reach for them because they look balanced and they move fast. A can of soup, a frozen entree, a crunchy box of whole grain cereal, and a bright salad with bottled dressing. On paper, that sounds like a safe weekday plan. In practice, it's convenience dressed like care.
The iconic Campbell soup can. Warhol loved them, millennials don't. Sales of Campbell soup dropped 1.9% over the past year.
Campbell's has been making condensed soup since the 1800s. Its soups are also an ingredient in a famous side dish that we all love, green bean casserole, a holiday favorite.
But how did a company with cans embedded in a country's cultural fabric become so troubled? When John T. Dorrance introduced, many say invented, the idea of condensed canned soup back in 1897, Campbell's ability to churn out cheap, easily transported products made it a soup giant. Its chicken noodle soup helped feed the country when it was beset by the Great Depression.
Let's start with the promise. Quick meals that check the boxes you care about. A little protein, some grains, a few veggies, not too much hassle. You want something you can heat, pour, or tear open. The front labels echo your hopes with warm colors, farm scenes, and badges that sound reassuring. But the truth is, those fronts sell a story. The back tells you who is in charge. Here's the bait and switch. Shelf life comes first. Flavor engineering comes second. Heart health comes last. Recipes drift saltier, sweeter, and cheaper because that keeps costs down and repeat buys up. Labels stay friendly while formulas inch toward more sodium, more added sugar, and more stabilizers. It's not one big change. It's a slow nudge. One day you realize your smart meal leaves you parched and hungry 2 hours later. Canned soup is the tidy example. Turn the can. Notice the serving size. The whole can is split into 2, sometimes more. One serving looks modest, but the bowl you pour is often the whole thing. That's how sodium stacks up fast. Salt props up thin recipes and bland fillers. Stands in for simmered stock and fresh veg.
In 2022, frozen food sales in the U.S. reached over $72 billion. Demand has been rapidly growing.
Temperature vary, it can become unsafe.
Throughout COVID, we had among the highest sales in all of the food space.
Percentages are remarkable in terms of what's tossed in frozen items because of inadequate cold storage temperature.
It keeps flavor loud after months on a shelf. It also keeps your blood pressure busy. Even the lighter lines lean on salt to avoid tasting flat. Now let's move on to frozen meals. The tray is pre-portioned, it looks balanced, and the numbers on the front feel under control. But most of the load hides in the sauce and the sides. The main protein might be fine. The gravy and starchy add-ons carry the salt and the sugar. Preservatives and cheap oils step in to fake fresh texture and keep everything stable from factory to freezer to microwave. You get neat edges and glossy surfaces, but also a salt hit that lingers.
So the consumers are buying more frozen product. It's going to require more storage capability and a more efficient supply chain. When COVID happened, when supply chain, everything got shut down, you saw a huge spike in frozen food, sometimes 30, 40, 50% year-over-year basis. What can consumers afford? A great study by Cornell that looked into how much waste the average consumer has between both fresh and frozen. And what they found was for frozen food, you're 5 times more likely not to encounter food waste.
Sweet cereals wear whole grain like a medal. Flip the box and the fine print shows added sugars stacked early in the ingredient list. Low fiber plus quick carbs is a 1-2 punch. Fast spike, fast crash. You coast for a moment, then the hunger boomerang comes back mid-morning. That's not you failing willpower. That's a product built to vanish fast. It crunches loud, burns quick, and leaves you scanning for snacks. Bottle dressings take a heart-healthy bowl of greens and drown it in salt, added sugar, and processed seed oils like soybean or corn oil. Light versions swap fat for sugar and thickeners, which keeps the mouthfeel but shifts the metabolic hit.
Frozen category, really seeing things like variety meats more likely to be purchased frozen. At the end of the day, it's about that 4 p.m. dinner tonight decision, right?
Most frozen food products reported double-digit increases.
We did a recent survey and found that over 80% of consumers look to frozen to reduce in-home food waste and also save money.
Freezing technology really hasn't gained leaps and bounds.
Blast freezing, and what that means is, let's say strawberries are coming out of a field in California.
Creamy versions lean on gums and flavor labs to mimic dairy richness. You think you're doing your heart a favor. The dressing thinks otherwise. Here's the research-backed insight in plain English. Diets heavy in ultra-processed foods link with higher cardiovascular risk. High sodium is tied to higher blood pressure. Added sugars tie to weight gain and insulin spikes. One item won't wreck your day. The pattern does. It's a drip, drip, drip that adds up. So what is the takeaway for your cart? Simple swaps that keep flavor and cut risk without wrecking your budget. Think one-line ingredients you recognize. Keep the salt, sugar, and oil under your control. You do not need a chef. You need a filter. Here's your mini rule of thumb. Soup with under 400 milligrams per serving, or use DIY broth you season yourself. Frozen meals under 600 milligrams, and add real veggie sides you steam or roast. Cereals with 5 grams or less of sugar and at least 5 grams of fiber. Dressings you shake at home with olive oil, vinegar, and mustard. That keeps taste high and the sneaky stuff low. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like and subscribe. Now let's pull back the curtain on how to shop smarter without spending more. Convenience is fine when you control the salt, sugar, and oil. The front sells a story. The back tells the truth. Turn the package. Read the lines that matter. That is where the real deal lies. Try one swap this week. Plain yogurt with fruit instead of sweet cereal. A quick vinaigrette with olive oil and vinegar. A low-sodium soup you season yourself. Drop your pick in the comments and tell us how it tasted. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets. Next, we're unpacking 3 healthy snacks that blow past your daily sugar before lunch. Stay sharp.